Hello, I'm Elan Chalford, and welcome to the second segment of Music Theory for Fiddlers. Just a reminder, last time we went from scales to intervals. We'll continue with the process until we get to 12-bar blues, played on the fiddle. When we get there, that will be the last segment. We went from scales to intervals last time. This time we're picking up pretty much where we left off. And I want to remind you one other thing, that I am using the tuning of A432. So when you tune your violin up to match what I'm doing, if you do that, if there's any discrepancy between your 440 tuning and what you hear from me, that would be the explanation. We're going to cover today, right now, a truly crucial skill in this process. And that skill is resetting the start point for counting an interval. For example, you have the third step of the D scale, the F sharp, and you want to move to the open A. What is that interval? Even though it's the third step, you need to begin counting again. Call it 1. 1, 2 is in between, and then 3 is the open A. It's the interval of a third. Here's another example, going from the second interval, the second step of the scale, the E, to the sixth step, the B. 2 will become 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the interval of a fifth. The next one we're going to look at is the interval from this E to the open A. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. The interval of a fourth. This process holds even if you go past the octave. For example, we have the fourth interval, the fourth step of the scale, the G. And we wonder, what is this note played by the fourth finger on the A string? Well, we might know it's E. What is the interval? Simply count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the interval of a sixth. Now, if we started from the F sharp, we would count to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's the interval of a seventh. There's one interval in this process in the scale that is different from the intervals I discussed last time. If we go from the fourth degree of the scale to the seventh degree, counting it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would think, well, that's the interval of a fourth, but it doesn't sound anything like this fourth. And indeed, it is a slightly different interval. It is called an augmented fourth, or a tritone. Tritone is the usual term applied to this interval, which has a very dissonant sound, a very unsettling sound. You want it to resolve a half step up for the upper note and a half step down for the lower note. And that gives you a sense of resolution. This concept is built into Western music. We're very used to it. That gives you an idea of how you can calculate intervals in notes that don't exactly match from the base note of the scale to a further note. You simply reset and begin counting again. And the good thing is this works counting the other way as well. If we were playing, for example, this, and D, that's the sixth degree of the scale, and wanted to know what this note might be in the terms of intervals, we just count backwards. 1, 2, 3. And it gives us the interval of a third. That will be consistent. The next move in this program will be talking about major and minor intervals and also inversions. So join me again for the next one.